What's going on, guys? This is Anthony KL5HZ, and today I'm going to talk about the Pi-Star and how to set it up. The Pi-Star is a project from about 10 years ago or so, where basically your Raspberry Pi gets turned into a hotspot to work as a node. What that means is basically you're getting a digital voice mode repeater that you can stick in your pocket and walk around with. This is great for people like me who don't have some kind of repeater in the area with those capabilities. Now I'm going to show you guys how to work it. So you'll need a couple things to make this work. One of the first things is a Raspberry Pi. You don't need anything crazy. This is a Raspberry Pi 02W. As long as it's got Wi-Fi and as long as you've got the GPIO pins, you're good to go. You don't even need all the pins, you just need the first section and the last section. The next thing you'll need is an MMDVM board. They come in two forms, a simplex like this one or a duplex, basically how many antenna ports are on it. This one is a simplex, so it'll transmit and receive on the same frequency, and it sits right on top of the Pi just like that. And then you just stick the antenna on top there, and then you're rocking and rolling as long as you get it set up correctly. And then of course, with any Raspberry Pi, you'll need an SD card. You don't need too much. The old versions required only 2 gigs maximum that you needed for a SD card. But the recent upgrades that they did over the past year require them to move it up to 4 gigs. But honestly, if you get a 32 gig, you'll be good for a while. And that's all you need to make this happen. Oh, and then of course, an antenna. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to have to do is install the image onto the SD card for the Raspberry Pi. So you'll go to this website right here, pi-star.uk. I'll bring it to this home screen here. And this is where you can learn more about the project and its contributors. You can go to information and get more info on that. But where we want to go is down here to downloads and download Pi-Star. So you can get it for the NanoPi, the Odroid, Orange Pi, and then of course the Raspberry Pi. The latest version is going to be the 4.2.1, so that's the one we're going to work with. So you click that and it'll start downloading. I've already got it downloaded, so I'm going to cancel that for now. This is some of the info for getting started with it, like the default logins and all of that stuff. Down here's the change log so that you can see the recent updates. They, back as of February, finally upgraded the system to work on Bullseye. Right here. They're still working on trying to get it with Bookworm, but there's been some issues trying to get the binaries to be compatible with Pi-Star. So once you get it downloaded, you'll want to extract the file. Okay, once you have it downloaded, we can keep it here in the downloads folder. You'll want to open up your Raspberry Pi imager. And you'll want to choose the custom OS that we just downloaded. So you'll go to choose OS and then scroll down here to use custom. And you'll navigate to where your downloads folder is at and open up that folder that we extracted and then select the image. Then you'll choose the storage. Make sure you choose the correct storage so that you don't wipe something that you don't want to wipe. So this is going to be mine right here. After that, you'll hit next. You'll want to clear all the settings that you do for customizing your OSs with the Raspberry Pi. You need it to be on the default settings that the image is created with. And then after that, we wait for it to image. Alright, so now we got it installed onto the SD card. So now we can pull it out. And we can stick it into our Raspberry Pi. And then we're going to go ahead and give it some power. Oh, one of the other things you also want to make sure with, go ahead and stick on the antenna just to keep it safe. And then you'll want to wait for it to pop up with the Wi-Fi hotspot, which it should pop up as, I believe, just regular old pi-star.
2 hours later.
Okay, so it finally popped up. It just hid itself down here. So you want to click on that and connect to this as your Wi-Fi hotspot. I don't know why I brought this up. Once we connect to it, we're going to open up a new tab. And there we go. So this is the first screen that you're going to get. Never mind, that will be the first screen that you want to get. In case it wasn't already obvious, I haven't messed with this in a while, and this is the first time with the new updates that I'm seeing this as well. So we're going in this together pretty much brand new. Alright, so let's see how much of this is similar to before. So we see the host name is pi-star. This is the current kernel version. Current kernel. Man, try saying that 5 times fast. It detected that we're on a Raspberry Pi 0W. It's just missing the 2 for whatever reason. And this is the current temperature of the CPU on board the Raspberry Pi. So this is where you pick the controller software. This is how you want it to run as a D-Star repeater or an MMDVM host. This is the one we want. We're not running D-Star. We are just running for this. It's going to be DMR. I don't have any D-Star radios to try things out with, so this is what we're working with. And like I said, we're going to be on a simplex node. And we'll go ahead. We don't need to apply those changes, but rule of thumb with pi-star is every time you make a change, you'll want to apply changes. So we'll keep the pi-star host name as it is. This is where you want to start putting in your info. So I'm going to put in my call sign for the node call sign. We're going to put in a radio frequency. So for me, I'm going to run it on 145.670. I'm going to leave the latitude and longitude alone for now. And I will put in my town. So I am in Fort Sill in Oklahoma. So country, I'm in the USA. And we'll do auto for the URL. This will have it pick up your info, so I believe it should pull it from QRZ. So for now, the node type is going to be private. You can make it public if you decided to host this as like a repeater to the public area. But for this, I'm just going to make it private for myself. I'm not going to do this right now, but this is a APR host option. Basically, this will enable it to populate your location on aprs.fi with your node. After that, actually, we're going to change this to the US English. Doesn't really matter. I think it's all pretty much the same, but just to keep it all consistent with US based things. Now we'll apply the changes. Every time you apply a change, it's going to restart the browser, or refresh the page, I should say. Sometimes it takes a minute. Alright, so now that we did our initial changes and our initial configurations, now we have this little box pop up. This is where you can select the different modes. So you can choose a single one to do, or you can do this one. It goes from DMR to YSF, so pretty much just how it sounds. It'll connect the two together. There's a bunch of other things that you can do. Maybe I'll do another video on that later, but we're going to keep it simple for now. And I'm just going to run it on DMR mode only. These hang times, it's going to be user preference. You just got to mess with it and see what works with you. Usually 20 works for me. The display type is based on the type of screen that you have on your Pi. I don't really mess with this because I don't care too much about the screen. all it really does is show you the call sign of who's on and currently talking, whether it's you or whoever is on the other end. After that, we'll apply the changes again. And this should actually pop up another box for us based on DMR being selected. Oh, so this is one of the M17 is also one of the changes from the new updates that I saw. I believe they're still working on it, but they are starting to get M17 mode implemented into Pi-Star. Alright, so now we'll come down here. And so this is another thing we'll have to do. Radio and modem type. You need to choose your device. So for me, we're going to scroll down, and it should be here it is. Yep, the DVM hotspot hat for the Pi GPIO. We'll wait on applying those changes. So this is where we start putting in our DMR configuration. So the master server, basically, we're going to pick the one for US, which I believe there's 3. Yep, 3102, 03, and 04. I'm going to pick 04. So hotspot security, you're going to set a password. We'll put an SSID to this, so I will just make this, we'll keep it at 1. And then the color code, I'll keep it on 1. And these things I never really mess with. They're where you can look at the logs of your traffic between you and the other person talking. Alright, so another thing on the general configuration. You'll have to do your DMR ID. So I'm actually going to go to radioid.net and get my ID number, 3188646. And this number is public, so you don't need to be secretive about it because it's going to be posted everywhere once you have it. As long as you have your passwords and everything kept a secret, of course, you'll be good to go. If you have a GPS device attached to it, you can configure this. I don't have one, so I'm going to skip that. I like to keep everything private on my firewall. So the last thing will be to refresh this so that we can configure the Wi-Fi. You'll want to set the country to where you're at. So for me, it's going to be US. And then you'll want to scan for networks. And we're going to connect to mine right here. And then we're going to save and connect. And we're also going to go ahead and apply the changes. And once we do that, it should restart and go ahead and connect to my actual Wi-Fi network. So I was having some power issues with mine and it wouldn't keep up with the connection. But luckily I have one of these guys here. This is called Pi Power. It's pretty much a very, very small UPS device. And it works really great and it gives the correct power outage for the Raspberry Pi. I'm not sure why using the regular old power supply for me isn't working, but this works and now I am good to go. So we made all the configurations here. Made sure the DMR ID, SSIDs, passwords, and all that stuff are set. And you can even see here I'm connected to my Wi-Fi. So now we should be able to go up here to dashboard. And we got green, so that's a good thing. And basically that's the gist of the basic setup for the Pi-Star hotspot. So we'll actually go ahead and demo it. And now we're going to try for a radio check on the USA DMR Brandmeister net, talk group 3100. And one of the things you got to remember, because I've made this mistake before, on the Pi-Star, it doesn't actually connect to a network until you key the mic, but there might be someone listening on the other end. So what you'll need to do is do a quick tap, and then that'll connect it to that talk group, and then you can listen in, make sure no one else is talking before you call out. So I just did it, and I'm not hearing anything, so now I'm going to go ahead and make a call out. This is KL5HZ on talk group 3100, looking for a radio check.
Yeah, I missed the call there, but the radio check, yeah, you're sounding real good. No problem at all. And 1GMV. And clear.
N1GMV, this is KL5HZ. The call again is Kilo Lima 5 Hotel Zulu. Yeah, I'm just testing a Pi-Star for a demo for a YouTube video that I'm making. So can you come again with how I sound?
Yeah, it sounds perfectly clear. No packet loss, no artifacts, anything. It sounds real good. Nice and loud, over. And San Diego County.
Good to hear, good to hear. Thank you for that radio check. And like I said, it'll be on my YouTube video. So if you just search up my call sign, you'll find me, and you'll see our QSO on there for the demo. But I appreciate the response on the radio check, and I'll say 73s now.
Okay, copy that. 73.
Alright guys, and that's the basics of the Pi-Star hotspot. There's a lot more that you could do with it, and I plan on making a bunch of videos explaining all of that, like connecting it to the other modes like TGIF, which is pretty similar to DMR, but it's not native to the Pi-Star hotspot. But there are some scripts and things that you can mess with that I've done in the past, and unfortunately I've lost those scripts. But I had a mishap with my hard drive, like I said. Be careful when you're imaging your SD card for the Raspberry Pi. Make sure you're actually on the correct device. But make sure, make sure that you're on the correct one. And I plan on making some more videos on the Pi-Star, doing some of those other configurations out there. And I plan on making a lot more videos out there. I'm starting off on the whole YouTube side of things, and looking forward to it, and appreciate anyone who watches these. And if you found this useful, and if you want to see some more, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and to keep up with more, and click the bell for some notifications whenever I post new things. I plan on going over all the digital modes. I plan on going over pretty much anything and everything ham radio, analog, digital, old and new, and all of that great stuff. Until next time, I'll say 73s now, and thanks to everyone out there. See you in the next video.